Hello, welcome to the Surrey Knitter. My name is Heather and I'm a knitter and a crocheter, and I live in Surrey with my fiance and my two small children. This is podcast episode 5. It has been quite a while since I last saw you, I think just over 3 weeks. I'm hoping that it becomes more regular because I feel like I'm not being as regular as I could. So I'm hoping going forward it will be every 2 to 3 weeks, just so it's a bit more consistent. So if you are sticking around, then welcome back. I really appreciate you. And if you're new here, then you are very welcome. This is where I talk about all things crochet and knitting, and I just generally go on for ages about random stuff. So I've already tried to film this 3 times and I just can't seem to get it right. So however you're seeing this now, it's just how it's going to be because oh, it's just one of them days, I think. But I am excited to show you what I've been working on. So I think I will just get on with finished objects. I finished 4 things this past few weeks, but I only have 2 to show you. I made some crochet baby cardigans for my friend's granddaughter. If you'd like to see them, because I don't edit my videos, if you would like to see them, please visit my Instagram. It's the_Surrey_knitter. I recently completed some crochet cardigans and they're very sweet, and if you'd like to see them, then please go and have a look. The reason I don't have to show them is that my friend's son and the granddaughter and his family don't live in this area, so they were down visiting, and that's when I gifted them to them. So I'll just briefly talk about them. I'll be quick because I have nothing to show. I'll just briefly say what the pattern was. So one of the cardigans was the Cozy Collar Cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs, and I made that in the size 3 to 6 months. I used Stylecraft Special DK in the colour Mushroom, I believe, and then I done the lace collar in just a white acrylic I had. And I started that on the 4th of April and I finished it on the 5th of April. It's an extremely quick pattern and it's a well written pattern, and I really love crocheting cardigans, so stuff like that is just really mindless for me. So that is one finished object. The other finished object for my friend's granddaughter is the Kids Little Spring Cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs. And with that, I did have some sizing issues, which was unexpected. I originally started crocheting the size 9 to 12 months and it just was massive. It could have literally fit me. So I ended up crocheting the 3 to 6 months size for the width, but crocheting it to the length measurements for the 9 to 12 months, if that makes sense. But yeah, it turned out super cute and everyone was happy. My friend was happy with how they looked, and so was the mum with the baby. And yeah, I crocheted that in the size 9 to 12 months. And I actually used, let me show you what yarn I used. The yarn I used for that was the King Co Cherish Baby Double Knitting. And this is 100% low pill acrylic, and it was in the colour Powder Pink. So if you do want to see them, please head over to my Instagram and have a little nosy. They're very sweet, and yes, I will definitely make the pattern again. I actually have yarn to make my daughter one, but I think I'll just have to look at sizing, and I think it's something to do with the particular stitch and my gauge for that stitch, but I feel like I'll definitely need to size down and just crochet to the length of my daughter's measurements. So yeah, that is 2 finished objects that I unfortunately don't have to show you, but I finished. Oh, and I started that one on the 17th of April and I finished it on the 19th of April. So yeah, very quick patterns. And actually this King Cole Cherish that I just showed you is really nice and really soft. Like, it's silky and it's so nice to crochet with because it just like slippery and it's just a dream to crochet with. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Another finished object I have to show you is another crocheted baby cardigan and that's the Crochet Collar Cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs, but instead of the lace collar I actually done the ribbed collar. So my younger sister is expecting a baby girl in August, so I just decided, because they're so quick and easy, I had some leftover yarn and I just quickly crochet this up. So this is in the 0 to 3 month size, and as you can see it's got the ribbed collar, and the one for my friend's granddaughter had the lace collar, so there's different collar options you can do. So I just thought I'd give the ribbed collar a go, and I think this turned out really sweet, and my sister is really happy with it. So yes, and I believe this yarn, this yarn here is the Yarnsmith Play Baby DK, and it's 100% acrylic, and it's just a all-round kind of nice yarn to work with. So that is what this is. And then my final finished object is a pair of socks for my partner. So if you're new here, my partner was having trouble with like pain in his feet. He works in construction and he wears heavy work boots all day, and I said I will knit him some socks, and I think this is the 4th pair of socks I've knitted him. They're just a basic vanilla socks. I do them on 2.25mm needles. I follow the Summerly basic sock pattern, so it's a 2x1 rib, and I do that for 20 rounds. I do the leg for 40 rounds. A slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, and then I do 65 rounds for the foot, and then just the normal Kitchener toe, and that is with 72 stitches. So I started them. Did I say when I finished this one? No, sorry, with the cozy collar cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs. This is 0 to 3 months, and I started that on the 5th of April and I finished on the 7th, so really quick. With my partner's socks, I started them on the 2nd of April and I finished them on the 29th of April, so I actually only finished these last night. I'm not sure why it took me so long. I just think I get so excited about crocheting cardigans these days that I just forget about everything else, but I'm glad they are done, and he's got another pair of socks to add to his collection. The yarn I used is Opal Wild Nature. I can't read German, but I presume this is Opal Wild Nature. He actually chose all the yarn for his socks from Wool Warehouse, because obviously I think he would like a more neutral kind of colour palette than I would choose for myself. I actually think I've only got two yarns left to knit him socks, and then they're gone. But we'll see if he wants more or not. He seems to be enjoying them so far. So yeah, that is Opal Wild Nature sock yarn, and it's actually really nice. I did have an issue. I got really close to the toe and then the yarn kind of not snapped, but one of the strands was broken, so I kind of pulled it, not pulled it hard, pulled it a little bit and it snapped. So I'm glad I did kind of pull that, because I feel like it would have made that particular stitch thinner and it would have snapped anyway. So yeah, I enjoyed using the yarn. I actually did, sorry, I've just dropped them on the floor. I actually did manage to match them up pretty perfectly. Oh gosh. Now, as you can see, they match up pretty perfectly, and I'm sure you will enjoy wearing those. As far as fit wise, he said these ones fit the best out of all of them, and I think that's because I made the cuff longer and I made the foot longer. So hopefully these get worn, these wear well, and he enjoys wearing them. So that is another finished object, and as I said, it took me quite a while, basically the whole month, to finish these. Okay, I think now I will move on to whips. Sorry, let me just have a quick drink. Okay, so I'll move on to whips. This is one of my whips. I just briefly wanted to talk about this bag. So this bag is from Makes by Mia. She had like an Easter sale on, and I had my eyes on this for a while, so I thought, you know what, it's right up my street, so I definitely need it. So it's actually a quilted project bag, and as you can see, it's got all these cute little chicks on it with flowers. It's got this really cute ribbon strap. It's got her logo, Makes by Mia, and it's also got this little, you can use this as a stitch marker, but I've just left it on, and it says Made with Love. And yeah, I bought it from Mia's Kofi shop, which I will link down below, and I absolutely love it. It's just so pretty. And the inside is lined with this lovely yellow. If you're looking for a really nice project bag that's perfect for like a sock project or something, then I'd definitely recommend you check out her Kofi shop. As I said, I will link it down below. Mia is so lovely. I don't know how she does it, because she seems like she makes time for everyone, and she also seems so busy at the same time. So I don't know how she does it. Whenever I message her or anything, she like responds to me. She just seems like she has time for absolutely everyone, and she's so sweet. And yeah, she makes a beautiful project bag. So if you are after a project bag, then I will link her Kofi shop down below. Please check her out and show her some love. These project bags are absolutely lovely, and I do have my eye on getting some more, definitely. That aside, I will show you my whip. Oh, it's all tangled. So with this, I did actually have to start all over again because I had problems with the fit. Sorry, my hook is tangled into everything, and I don't have the ball band, which is absolutely fantastic, but that's okay. Okay, so this is the beginning of a Susie top by Crochet by Sky, and it is a crocheted top that you crochet basically all in one and then seam down the sides, and it's these beautiful flowers all over, and I think it's a 5-row repeat, and it's really easy, really mindless, but it's a made to measure garment. So you take the measurements of the person that is going to wear it, and then you kind of work it out from there. So this is actually for my sister. So I asked her to measure her bust, which she did, and she gave me a measurement, and I started crocheting using the measurement that is half of her entire bust, so half of her measurement. And I done quite a lot of it actually. I actually got to like the shoulders, and then I thought, before I continue, I probably should hold it up to her body and see if it fits. So I took it round to her house and I held it up to her, and it didn't fit at all. It was so small. And what I actually should have said with her, so she's actually quite small on the bust, but her hips are wider. So with her, I actually should have asked her to measure around her hips to get the biggest measurement of her torso, if you know what I mean. So we decided that we would add 2 more, this is how much it was basically too small, 2 more flower repeats just so it fit her better, and I think that will work out quite well. So yes, I had to basically rip out the entire thing, which I did end up using 1 50-gram ball and then starting again, but that was fine because I just want it to fit. And it's always a bit hit and miss when you are making things for other people, because obviously when it's yourself, you can just try it on, hold it up to you whenever, but when it is for someone else, you need to arrange to go and visit them and that. With children, I feel like children's sizes are quite generic because, you know, they're small. But I definitely think with like women especially, because they're different body proportions, it's harder to kind of gauge if something's going to fit or not. But yeah, so she chose this yarn, my sister, and it is the Yarn Smith's Pebble Haze DK in the colour Blue Beryl. So this is a cotton and acrylic blend. I can't exactly remember the composition because I don't know where I put the ball band. But yeah, it's a lovely yarn. Let me show you. So it's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like, it looks like it's blown or like chainette or something, but it's quite hairy at the same time. The issue I have is that when I'm at work, I wash my hands a lot because, you know, I'm changing the children and everything. I do a lot of messy play because I work in early years. So my hands get really dry, like, you know, the skin gets dry. And when I'm crocheting this, I kind of hold it. Like when I tension it, it's like that. And then I feel like when my hands are dry, it doesn't slide very easily on my fingers. And because it's got all these little hairy bits, it kind of just like, it's uncomfortable to crochet with. Not that the yarn is lovely, and when it's crocheted up, it doesn't feel like that at all. It feels lovely. But it's just when it's just the way I hold the yarn and the hook and the way I tension it. So this is a DK yarn, but I think you can use any yarn with this pattern. You just need to, you know, consider that when you are measuring and making the garment, how many like flower repeats you'll need. And I'm actually using a 3.5mm hook to make this. Yeah, the pattern's really well written and it's beautiful, and I want to make this for myself as well once I've made my sister's one. So yes, I will get on with this, and hopefully by next podcast my sister will have a finished top that she can wear during the summer. So that is one whip I have, and I started this whip, and I didn't write down when I started it, so I don't know why I'm even saying that. But yeah, again, makes by Mia. Check her out. Bags are beautiful. Okay, so the next, we'll go with this one. So this is another whip that I've recently cast on, and this is actually a project bag that I sewed myself. If you've been around for a while, you know that last year it was my New Year's resolution to learn how to sew, and I can say that I learned a lot about sewing and I really enjoyed sewing, and I am getting back into it because I've got a new area to sew in, which is really exciting. So yes, I will get on with showing you this whip. So this is another cardigan for my friend's granddaughter. Surprise, surprise, this girl has a whole knitted wardrobe for me, but you know, I'm loving it because it's just so fun making baby stuff, and my friend is such a good friend that her granddaughter deserves everything, as does she. So yeah, this is the Sweet Ruffles cardigan by Knit Paint Sew. So last month I made the Estonian button stitch cardigan, and that was also by Knit Paint Sew, and it is a free pattern on their, is it blog? On their blog? I'm not sure. And I really like their patterns because there is no going back and picking up for the collar or for the button band. It's all knit in one, so it's really simple, and they're really like simple patterns to follow. They're really well written. So this is in the size 9 to 12 months that I'm making, and it's a top down cardigan that you knit the button band within it, and the button band is garter stitch. The neckband is also garter stitch, and I will knit down until I finish the body, and then you increase, and then you have a nice little ruffle at the bottom of it. So I just thought that would be really, really cute. My friend chose out the yarn, but of course I didn't let her pay for it because nope. So this is Yarn Smith's Create Double Knit, and it is in the colour Rose Pink, and it's a really nice kind of vintagey pink. And yes, the baby's mum's favourite colour is pink. She absolutely loves pink, so she most definitely will like this. Your 4mm needles. The needles I always use are Knit Pro things. I bought them 4 years ago as kind of a starting out interchangeable needle set because they are probably the cheapest on the market. I thought if I get along with them, I'll upgrade to something better and more expensive. But I haven't found the need. I haven't had any issues with these needles at all. I really enjoy using them. I know some other people have said they had issues with Knit Pro things, but definitely not me. And I don't plan on replacing them anytime soon. They've been used consistently for 4 years, and this is my probably the most used needle. There's 4mm, because obviously a lot of DK patterns call for 4mm, and I've just had no issues at all. So if you are new to knitting, or you are thinking of getting an interchangeable circular needle set, then I definitely recommend the Knit Pro things. You know, I think it was around £40 for what I needed to start out, and yeah, I haven't had any desire to change from them, and I haven't had to replace anything. I will just say that they come with the fixed kind of cable. I would recommend that you purchase some swivel cables separately, just because they are a lot easier to kind of screw on and maneuver. This isn't a swivel one because I'm only knitting something small, but if I was to knit a garment for myself, which obviously has considerably more stitches, it's easier to have these swivel cables. I just find them easier to maneuver. But saying that, Knit Pro's entire range is interchangeable with each other. So yes, if you, I think I bought the mindless swivel cables, but I think any swivel cable will be fine. They're only a few pounds, and they are just really nice to work with. But yeah, Knit Pro things, if you're starting out, I highly recommend. So yeah, that is that. Oh, and this yarn is 100% acrylic, and this yarn I've used a lot actually, and it's just a good all-rounder yarn. I think it's £1.60 something for 100 grams, which is really, really affordable. So this cardigan I think would use probably 1.5 balls, so probably £3 something for a cardigan is definitely a really good price, and it's just a really good all-round yarn. It washes well. I've not had any particular issues with it, and it has such a big range of colours. I would definitely recommend check them out, and that is Wool Warehouse's own brand of yarn, Yarn Smith. So yeah, that is another whip. I'll just put that back. Recently I've just been leaving my projects everywhere, and they are just I left one on the floor. So we have a hamster. This is like what you can see here, a hamster cage, and she has a massive cage. And I think we've had her a year now actually. Yeah. Anyway, I've been leaving my projects just on the floor without being in a bag, and she kicks her substrate everywhere, and it's just been getting on my projects. I need to remember to put them in the bag. Oh, honestly. Right, let me put that down here. I think what I'll show next is my blanket, and that's because I have another whip that would make more sense if I talk about it after I talk about my crochet blanket. So if you are new around here, I have 2 long-term blanket projects on the go. Well, I did have 2. We'll talk about that in a minute. I have a knitted blanket and I have a crocheted blanket. And what I said I'll do is that every podcast I will work on a different blanket. So up until last podcast, I was working on my knitted blanket. And since the last podcast, I've been working on my crochet blanket. And that is because I am really bad at actually making any progress on these projects because, well, I don't know why, because there's no instant gratification. So I've been forcing myself, encouraging myself to work on these because I want to get them done. So this is a blanket for my daughter. My daughter loves pinks and purples, so that's the sort of blanket that she wanted. So this pattern is a free pattern, and it is the, what's it called? The Summer Fade Hexie Blanket by Mallory Crowell, and it is a join as you go kind of blanket. What I've decided to do with my daughters is choose a new yarn for every row. So every row has 9 hexies, and I choose a different colour for each row. And yeah, that seems to work well, just to make it like really colourful. So the last time I showed this hexie blanket, it's getting so big, it's actually too much. The last time I showed this hexie blanket, I was here. So I had done one of the 9 hexies on this row. And I said I'm going to do it. I'm going to try my best to do 1 hexie every day to actually make some progress. So if you can see that little mermaid marker there, that's where I was when I last showed you. So since then, I have completed all of that pink row, which is 8 hexies. I've then gone on to complete another row, which is another 9 hexies. And as you can see, they're like starburst hexies. And then, so that's another 9. And then I then go on to complete another row, which is another 9. And then I've gone on to do 5 of the next colour. So altogether, I have done 31, yes, 31 hexagons to add to this blanket. I've not done anything to the ends. They are dreadful. Sorry, I got distracted by a man walking his dog. But I will deal with that when the time comes. But I'm really proud that I actually stuck to what I said and made good progress on this blanket. This blanket is just made with acrylic DKs in different pinks and purples. I was a bit unsure as to this one here because it's blue as well, but that's just how it came in the ball, and I think it actually looks really pretty. And this white that I'm adding in has specks of pink and purple and is glittery. So let me just kind of try to show you. I can't show you the whole thing at once because it's just too big. The thing with this as well is that I can only crochet it when I'm on my bed and it's laid out on my bed, because if I try and do it on the sofa, it is actually breaking my back. Like I can crochet, because you crochet the hexie in the last kind of round, you crochet kind of join as you go method. Mallory Crowell's got a really good video tutorial, so please check that out. So I can crochet like on the sofa comfortably, but when I do the joining method, I need to have it like laid out on my bed, because if I try to attempt it on the sofa, it's just getting so heavy that it's actually hurting my back. So yeah, let me try and show you. Gosh, can you even see any of that? So yes, I'm really glad that I made a lot of progress on it, but it is getting big. So for now, because I will switch to my knitted blanket, for now I will remove the marker, put it on my last hexie, which is this one here, just so I will be able to record my progress. Oh dear, oh, got a bit, oh my gosh, just so I can record my progress next time. So yeah, that is the Summer Fade Hexie Blanket by Mallory Crowell, and it is just so big. When I'm not working on this, I store it underneath my bed because I have an ottoman bed. So I just put this underneath for safekeeping for a few weeks until I'm ready to work on it again. I should probably get started on the ends. Look how, like, some of the ends are sewn in, but most of them are just terrible. Right, look at all that. Oh, well. Okay, so, 1 second, sorry. Okay. So, my final whip is kind of another blanket. So, the yarn with this is that the 9 hexes in each row use up around half of one 100-gram ball. So the rest of the yarns I was actually just giving away, because people would post on like groups saying they, you know, if anyone has yarn, you know, around my area, you know, does anyone have any yarn? They're getting rid of yarn scraps they're getting rid of because they're working on their own projects. So I gave a lot away to this one lady, and she made like a beautiful shawl with it, and she actually sent me the pictures, which is really sweet. So I've been giving the leftovers away because I didn't know what to do with it. But I thought when I got to here, this colour, this colour, that I can actually make a whole other project for the leftovers. So that's what I've decided to do. So I now have another blanket project on the go. So what I've been doing is, with the leftover, this bag is from Etsy. I can't remember the person. What does it say here? No, can't remember the person, but it's really cute. And this little pin is from Siobhan's Crafts. So what I've decided to do with the leftover yarns is make squares, granny squares with each yarn, and then when I've got enough, I will join them together with a different yarn to make like a kind of patchwork sort of blanket. Let me show you what I've been up to. So I've got one here, and it's just basic granny stitch, granny square, and it's 12 rounds. This one, this one, and then this is from my granddaughter's, my granddaughter, I don't have grandchildren, this is from my friend's granddaughter's cardigan. There was some leftovers, so I made a square too. So yeah, eventually I will join the squares together, hopefully when I have a lot, and I can make a whole other blanket. So at the moment, when I'm finished adding yarn into this blanket, the leftover yarn, I crochet a granny skirt with 12 rounds, and then I just put it into a project bag until I have enough squares to join together to make another blanket. I don't know who will have this other blanket, maybe my sister, maybe my friend's granddaughter, maybe I'll keep it for myself, who knows. Yeah, it's just a thing to do to use up the yarn so it can go into another project, and I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm using, where did I just put that crochet hook? There we go. I'm using a 4mm crochet hook, and it's very basic granny stitch square. So yeah, that is that whip. Do I need another blanket project? No, but you know, and I'm not just going to use yarn that I get from this blanket. If the Sweet Ruffles cardigan has leftover yarn and it's enough to make a square, then I'll make a square with that. But I am trying to keep with a theme, sort of pinks and purples, just so it's more coordinated. So yes, another sort of blanket project. Oh, I can't even get it back in the bag now. Put that back in. Zip it up. Okay, so now that I've gone through all of that, I will do this month's roundup. So today is the last day of April. So I definitely won't finish anything by tomorrow. So I'll just go over what I've made this month. Basically, not what I've started, but what I've completed this month. So I completed the Moonlit Shawl by Sandra Paul. That was in my last episode. I completed the Cozy Collar Cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs in the size 3 to 6 months. That's for my friend's granddaughter. I completed the the Cozy Crochet. I completed the Cozy Collar Cardigan for my sister's baby in the size 0 to 3 months, again by Baby Crochet Designs. I completed the Kids Little Spring Cardigan by Baby Crochet Designs in the size 9 to 12 months for my friend's granddaughter. And I also completed a pair of socks for my fiance. So that is what I have completed this month. The next time you see me, I would have probably had me and my son's birthday. So I will be older and I will be a mum to a 6-year-old, which is crazy. Time's going so fast. So I will see you in a couple of weeks. I have no plans for my birthday or my son's birthday yet, but I'm sure we'll think of something because we still have a little bit of time. And yes, I just wanted to briefly talk about my new crafting space that I'm hoping to show you at some point when it's finished. So my partner is a bricklayer and he built a brick shed in our garden, and half of it is for his business, not his business, but it's got all his stuff there, and then half of it is actually a crafting space for me. So far I've got a desk with my sewing machine and everything and my sewing stuff, and I've also got an ironing board and an iron and everything, so I can sew down there. We don't have a table in our house, so sewing hasn't been really comfortable for me because I've just had to kind of basically put it on the floor and lean it on the ottoman we have, and then just try to work the pedal at the same time. I don't know how to explain it, but now I actually have a desk. I just need to get like a nice chair down there, and I'm hoping to paint the walls, and then hopefully that will be my new crafting space where I can podcast down there. So that's exciting. I'm hoping when it's finished in a few weeks I can show you. I don't have any shop updates so far. I think I sold all of the fades, and then I sold the yarn I dyed last week as well, the sock set, and I actually have yarn into soak now that I'm about to dye. So my last yarn that I dyed, I didn't even have a chance to show you because it sold so fast. Lovely buyer, thank you so much, you know who you are. Yeah, so I didn't have a chance to show you that, but if you would like to see it, it's over on my Instagram page. It was a sock set inspired by a rose I have in my garden. This sock set was called Chloe's Rose. My daughter's name is Chloe Rose, and that rose actually inspired that sock set because when I moved into the house there was an already existing rose bush, which I didn't even know was a rose bush. I didn't know it was a rose bush, and then I found out I was pregnant, I believe in the early June of that year, and the rose bush had actually started to blossom into these beautiful kind of orangey pink roses. So I decided to call my daughter Chloe Rose. So I always really liked the name Chloe for a daughter, and then I decided to do her middle name Rose just because, I don't know, I just felt like it was nice. So yeah, so that sock set sold really quickly, and I'm hoping that becomes permanent in my shop. And I casted a vote over on my Instagram, kind of showing some ideas on another sock set that I'm going to dye today. So I kind of posted about dandelions, like a sock set inspired by dandelions. And I thought that was a really nice idea because obviously dandelions have different phases of growth and reblossoming. And then the other idea was based on bluebells because obviously they're really beautiful as well. The winning vote was bluebells, so I'm about to go and dye bluebells. This will be on my Kofi shop, I'm hoping tomorrow. So if you are interested in a sock set, then definitely check me out, and check me out on Instagram, the_Surrey_knitter. And yeah, that was a lot of rambling. That was a really rambly podcast. But you know, I just go with the flow. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone is well, and I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. It's bank holiday weekend, so I hope everyone enjoys that. And I hope everyone gets up to some lovely crafting and enjoys time with people they love and doing the things they love. And yeah, I think that's all I have to say today, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye.